Blog Talk Radio.
This is West Virginia Championship Wrestling Weekly Recap. Tonight we'll discuss today's television broadcast and the upcoming TV tapings. This is West Virginia Championship Wrestling.
Whoa, we don't need two of those. How y'all doing tonight?
Two of them.
A little bit of a throw together. We're doing the recap and the after nerdy party both at the same time for once because I was at the doctor's getting some stuff checked out from Saturday night. And if I sound a little funny, I've still got a fat tongue from some of the stuff they had to do in my throat. But other than that, everything's good. What do you got to say tonight, Rando? I know you're here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm alive. I just got to say, I honestly, I didn't have much time to check out what happened at the show this past Saturday.
No.
Since I've here lately, I've been pushed more into a production role, and because of that, I really I'm not out there so I can witness all the great action that WVCW has to offer.
Yeah.
But to be out there for that street fight as the cameraman, as a roving cameraman, mind you, you and J.C. Dykes, the two of you, you beat the living mortal hell out of one another. And that's the only thing that anytime I think wrestling, whether it was Raw a couple nights ago or anytime I see a little blurb, my mind always floats back to that one particular match of that night.
Yeah.
And,
I'm still a little foggy on it. I don't remember much of it. I've been fighting headaches ever since that night. I'm not sure. I think
I can understand why.
They're saying oxygen deprivation or some shit like that. I'm not sure, but it's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about some stuff that happened on the TV today and in the spotlight, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about a little bit about, there's a few things mentioned on the Nerdies tonight that need discussing too, I would imagine. I guess delve into it. Start with Saturday night. Saturday night was a great night. The house was back up. People were rocking and rolling. There was some the Q&A section that really became more than just a talk. So
well, what are we going to dive into? Are we going to sit here? We're going to talk about war, or are we going to sit here or talk about Saturday night, or are we going to sit here and talk about TV? What are we going to kick everything off with this week, Mr. Hojo?
Well, let's start with the TV and let's just get it out of the way. The TV was good this week. I think it was one of our better episodes, top to bottom. It's all the greatest thing ever that's ever been on WVCW TV. I know personally from what I've heard on the commentary that you and Eric St. Clair were both floored by the fact that I was able to get my big ass off the ground to do a crossbody. So
that was an amazing feat, sir. That was wow, epic.
Yeah, but really and truly, saw a lot of good stuff. Bandit was out there beating up the kids again. I really, after some of the things I heard him saying on Saturday night, I really think that Scotty Reigns better watch his ass. He's coming after him. I really think he is. We haven't seen Big Willie in a while. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm not sure if he's still trying to collate everything that happened at Miracle on the Mountain or not, but it's just I think Sammy's found him a new focus, and he's got that target set right on Scotty Reigns' head. And as soon as Scotty Reigns comes through that door, he may just take that head right off. But we saw him out there with Joey Johnson. Whoop the man's ass. That's all he can really say. There was another match. My mind's not working right tonight. I know the tournament matches where J.C. Dykes took on Benny Conley. Took him on, and oh God, my head. But it was a good match. JC used the powder, of course, to beat Benny because he can't beat anybody with his bare hands. He's got to have something. He's got to have an advantage. He's got to twist it and turn it and make it seem like he's being took advantage of. But
okay. Look, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to break down the fourth wall. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know what's going on with JC. I don't know if he's having trouble, at work, or he's having family problems, or where the hell's going on. But a lot of what you're seeing on TV is pretty much what everybody sees back. I mean, it's constant. That's the JC I remember is when we were at the Ramsey Auditorium, and all the rest were back in the locker room, or should I say the gigantic fucking tool room. I never associated with anybody. I was always in the back. I was always in the corner. I was always by myself, getting my ref gear on. And when I had it going and I didn't have a match, I'd either watch the match itself through the monitor, or I would just pace back and forth preparing for the next match that I had to that I was assigned to. And it was JC that came up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? Come on over here. Come on over here and have a sit down. Ain't no point for you to be out there." He brought me into his corner and said, "Come here and have a sit down." And that actually gave me my first sense of belonging to WVCW. Even though I've been there from the start, that was the point where I realized that, hey, you know what? I've earned the respect of the people here in the back to the point where they actually want me to sit next to them and hang out and talk and BS and what have you. But lately, his rhetoric in the back, his attitude, especially towards the younger wrestlers, the guys just breaking into the business and such, and everything. This whole thing started with Lavelle. I don't know. There's just been this change in him, and it's obviously it's come through in all of his matches, and not only his matches, it's just his attitude on camera. And like I said, it's the same as it is in the back. I don't understand what's going on.
It's him all the way around, man. He's a different cat now. I'm not sure what his problem is. I think his mama needs to hug him or something, but I don't know what it is. But I mean, you mentioned Lavelle. Something that, my head ain't been working right all week, but there's something that nobody's mentioned about the Lavelle cat. He's the producer or whatever it is, a Spotlight, and has been from the get-go. How long has he been around?
Think back.
Because Spotlight started up right before Miracle last year. And from day one, it said William Lavelle International at the end. I saw that, and I'm like, also maybe they made up something cute. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you right now. Hunter. I can tell you right now. And before the formation of WVCW, we used to run in a little group called WVPW. That's where I ran for a little bit, and I was there right there with Benny Conley, and as a matter of fact, JC Dykes there, and he started to do his like columns or blogs or whatever it is online. That's when I first saw his name, and ever since then he's pretty much been pretty much touch and go. But here lately, he's really ramping up his efforts and trying to, make a name for himself.
I don't know what the deal is, man. It's got me foggy, foggier than I have been. I don't know. It'll come to me. It always does. My mind's like a steel trap. Just sometimes I forget to set the thing. But let's talk about Spotlight. I watched it today, and I have a lot of wrestling on it this week, really. There was a few pieces. They had a nice little piece made up for the tournament, setting up for the finals, which will air next week between me and JC, that have just really and truly, even if you were there Saturday night, if you weren't there last month, you don't understand why Saturday night happened until you see the finals of this tournament. I'm not even sure how much they're going to be able to air on TV. That one, too, I walked out of that one, and I had to watch footage to realize what all actually happened just because it was so draining. It was a physically draining experience for me. Saturday night was physically draining and physically harmful. I'm never going to be the same after Saturday night, and I have no doubt about that. But so really and truly, next week's episode of WVCW TV is a must-see. If you can't watch it when it airs on the CW, hit it up on the YouTube. If you ain't subscribed to WVCW TV on the YouTube yet, just hit the Facebook, WVCW, Facebook.com/WVCW TV. It'll be posted there. It'll be posted on my wall if you happen to be on my friends list. If you're not and you want to be, send me a thing. I accept just about anything, unless I just see something that's like, oh, hell no. So, but you can get it, you can see it, you can watch it at your leisure. Do it so that you can understand what's happened and what's happening. And, had that. There was a little rundown. I mean, because, one of the forgotten things, because they were injured and they were gone, is the Old School Elite just destroyed the Heartthrobs 2 months ago at the TV tapings. I mean, took them out. I'm still not sure. I mean, I know Roger competed Saturday night this past taping, but I don't think he was 100%. He didn't look it. Coy was fired up as ever, but I still think his arm was bothering him. And that means
Rip Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand about breaking down fourth walls and everything, but come on now. It's like calling Triple H Paul.
I don't call. No, he's Coy. Have you ever tried to pick him up on a date?
No.
He's as coy as a 14-year-old preacher's daughter.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever heard that man speak? Okay, let me take this back. When he does speak, have you never not been able to hear him? He is far from freaking coy, man.
No, he's not. You just know him with the microphone in his face. I know the real man. Tagged with him for 2 years. I know him. But anyway, and truly, I feel a lot of pain for Ripper, because Ripper, he doesn't handle pain well, emotional or physical, and he's been hurt both ways by the Old School Elite, and really and truly coming up in war. I mean, and that's what that piece on Spotlight was for. It's trying to build it. And that's building that scuttlebutt, letting you know it's going to happen, because in war, it's going to be the first time they get their hands on them. It's going to be Old School Elite, Heartthrobs, and the tag titles are going to be on the line. This is that tag match that every champion gets, that chance to win their belt back, and we're going to try that. And I'm sure J.C. Dykes will claim he never got his chance to get the belt back, but we don't care about that right now. We're beyond that. And but as far as Spotlight,
he has another belt, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But but the other thing, see, they showed the matchup from back when, before all the TV title mess started on Spotlight, of Halen and Taylor, and that first 10 minutes when they went to the time limit draw, and it was a beautiful match. I'm glad it was rebroadcast because people really need to see that. It was a good match, really good match.
I had a bird's eye view for that, sitting right there at the commentary desk, and we're supposed to commentate from what we see on the television screen. That's what we're supposed to, because that's what the audience is seeing. But when I'm sitting there and I see those two in the ring, I'm sorry, I can't sit there and watch that television screen when just 10, 15 feet in front of me, I have these two battling out live. So, sometimes my commentary might have been a little bit off here and there, but I was watching it straight up live as it happened. I didn't catch the camera angles. I didn't give the hell about what the camera angles were doing. What I cared about was the absolute wrestling bout that those two men gave.
Oh, it was a beautiful match. Beautiful matchup. I mean, and I want to echo the sentiments of the Nerdies. Since we're speaking about excellent wrestling matches, Benny Conley and Baron Bullard Saturday night. Watch for it coming up on the television show. Wonderful.
That is something I cannot wait for. I didn't see a lot of the show because of my other duties for the night. But that definitely, especially after hearing Jeff and Tony and the boys talk it up, I definitely got to see it now.
I've heard quite a few people just rave about it, and also the Johnny Smooth Daniel Halen match that they were talking about too. I've heard both of them were great. Now, and if you want to, and truly, here in about 2 weeks, there's going to be just a top-notch match that really and truly very few people have got to see live. I mean, all 200 of our campers got to see it at the Elk Special Project Camp. But, I believe it'll be in 3 weeks. George South gets a shot at the West Virginia title from Scotty Raines, and it will air on TV. And by far, it is a stellar wrestling match, too. I mean, that's one thing about it. I'm out there. I don't profess to be the most prolific technical wrestler, though I can do some of it, but that's just not my game. Never has been. But there is great technical wrestling here in WVCW, and it's not all bluff and bull. You know what? Like I've been fond of saying about other places I've been, because that's all it is. It's all bluff and bullshit, man. I can't say that. But anyway, let's just get back. Good technical wrestling, WVCW. Think about it, and it's the truth.
Well, it's like this. No, I'm not going to drop it right there. You're not going to pigeonhole this company as being, we're technical. No, you're not going to do that. What you're going to sit there and do, the same thing that I've been doing, is saying that West Virginia Championship Wrestling provides you professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
All our guys ain't the greatest technical wrestlers in the world, but guess what? They make up for it in other areas. Like you said, I'm sure you can perform any move that you wished. There's no doubt about it on any opponent.
Even a 450. I can even do a 450.
I'm still waiting on that flaming 450 from the top of the cage. When you go to Japan, I'm buying a ticket and I'm watching that shit. But I digress. WVCW, I mean, we have everything. We got stuff we got wrestlers that go out there and it doesn't seem like they take their what they're doing seriously, and they ham it up, and it makes people laugh and lifts up everybody's spirits. You have those type of guys, which that's well and good. Then you have your brawlers like yourself and JC, and then you got your technical wrestlers, and then you got guys that just kind of sit above outside of it all. They can do it all. They've been known to do it all. They have different preferences, different styles, but they can do it all. I mean, granted, I've never seen Dave Scott do a comedy match. But if you wanted to fight Dave Scott could fight you. If you wanted to wrestle Dave Scott could wrestle you. And that's
I've
the
actually
versatility
seen Dave
of the
Scott.
W.
I'm just going to interject this right here. I have seen Dave Scott do a comedy match because I forced him to do it one night. But that was years ago in a different set of clothes, shall we say. I was a leopard of different spots back then. But, what you're saying is, and it's the truth, WVCW runs the full gambit. It's entertainment without being sports entertainment. You come out, you be entertained, but you won't be insulted. But you won't be insulted. We won't have strippers reading off of a cue card.
We tried that
guys who don't. No cue cards, unfortunately. But it's
she really wasn't a stripper.
That's true.
Not that I know of.
No, I don't believe so, but we might have. If we wanted to research it, we probably could. I don't really care at this point. But the train's coming back around the track, Rando. The thing I wanted to mention about Spotlight is Lavelle had a video inserted in Spotlight this week. And I'm not exactly happy about the fact that it's in there. There's some stuff in there it's not right. It's a very disturbing little piece. I think
disturbing is too light of a word.
Wrong is the word I think of first. Disgusting. I really don't understand what the purpose of it was, other than just to make us. I don't know if he's trying to scare us. I don't know if he's trying to, and by us I mean the wrestlers, the nation.
Okay, it's
5-year-old kids on the street playing marbles. I just don't know.
I look at it like that. It's a ploy. It's just a little. Hey, I'm gonna rattle your cage a little bit here. Yeah, I want to get action out of you. That's the only thing I do that out of. And then what caught me up, what just made it all stand out, what made me realize the exact type of person this individual is. At the very end, when you actually, if you sit back and look at it as a whole and listen to it, both with the music composition and the spoken word and the imagery, it's almost I guess you can call it art. It's in a disturbing kind of way. It brings emotion.
Yeah.
But at the very end of it all, that bastard has to go, and in full color, after everything's been black and white, in full color, plaster his name and his image all over everything. Just, if that could have been like, something that could have been passed around on YouTube and be like, all the emo kids out there being like, oh man, you gotta check this out, man. This is what life is all about. It could have been something like that. It could have had a cult following. But when he sat there and bastardized the entire thing by putting his logo or whatever the hell that is at the very end, it's a guy that's just looking for attention. That's all it is.
I think.
And no, wait, I'm not done. And who else in WVCW desires attention more than one Eric Foster? Who?
I don't know who Foster is. From day one, at first taping, this is my show. This is my show. This is my show. It's all we ever hear. It's his show, his show, his show. And I just, that kind of eats at me. Oh, Cody Green in the chat room typing Cuban. No, it wasn't his show. He was just the star from the get-go, supposedly. I don't know who it is. If it is Foster,
Young Cuban
I feel
now,
sorry
come
for
on.
him. If it is Foster, I feel sorry for him because he can't run that fast, and my old slow ass can't catch him. And to think of JC in bed with the organizer, it sickens the stomach.
Well, and like I said before, JC's a different person. You know this as well as I do. I mean, how many times have me and you been on the phone together with him, you know, doing our nightly HR sessions at 2 o'clock in the damn morning? He'd be on there with us. And now lately it's just like, I don't even want to call in. Because I don't want to hear bullshit.
Well, no. Well, I mean, what? I mean, he's so damn delusional. I mean, he legitimately thinks I kicked a tree over so he could drive into it.
Well, I honestly, Hojo,
I
can see you doing that though. I can see you.
I wouldn't do anything.
Just like waiting there right behind the tree, and then as soon as you see those headlights, just pushing the motherfucker over. I can see that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I would never be that obtuse about it. I'm always straight ahead. Whether people like me or hate me, I've always been really straight ahead about everything. If I'm doing something, you know I'm doing it, and you see it coming right at you. It ain't coming up your backside. It ain't sneaking in your back door. It's right there between your eyes.
Yeah, well, that does make sense now that I think about it that way. If you did want to follow a tree on a car, you know, as he's going down the road, then you just have one of those roadside electric signs that says, JC, I'm going to drop a tree on your car 5 miles ahead.
No. What I'm saying is if I'd have kicked the tree over, I'd have jumped down and made sure it finished the job.
Oh.
But, I mean, whoever did that, or whatever did that, it's just, I'm not sure. Hallucinations and delusions and everything else. I think somebody mentioned bringing a cooler full of Kool-Aid next time. I think JC may have drank the whole cooler himself. It really, I don't know. I really don't. But,
yeah, if they want to bring Kool-Aid out, I'm all for it. I like me some Kool-Aid now.
That's it. I like me some Kool-Aid, too. Especially that Crystal Light. It ain't really Kool-Aid. It's the Crystal Light stuff. Ain't got no calories in it. My big fat ass needs all the help I can get dropping down. Almost back to 300 pounds, folks. Once I hit 300, the drop kick might come out. But anyway, I think we got about a minute left. Oh, thank you, computerized voice woman, saying 90 seconds. So we've got about 90 seconds. Key things I want to talk about. Get it off my head before I go lay down and try to sleep. September 13th, War, West Virginia. Fall Brawl 2013. If you were there last year, you know what to expect. But that's just going to be the kickoff point, folks. Last year's was great. This time's going to be even better. The next night, next huge TV taping at the Nations Arena, the Rec Center, Princeton, West Virginia. Show's entitled Showdown. There's going to be a lot happening that night. Taylor and Halen going to face off in at least one more of the Best of 7 series. I'm sure me and JC are going to lock it up somehow. I'd like to get a hold of that Chris Kepper, too. Little backstab, sneaking out in the dark like that, like a burglar in the night. I'll take care of him, too. And I'm sure St. Clair's got a thing or two to say. Mikey Stevens will probably be there, too, to help us on this one. It's hard to tell who may come out, but it's going to get took care of.
And let's not forget, we have open tryouts that day. We have open tryouts that day at the next TV taping. We have open tryouts.
Open tryouts, and there's going to be a major star return. We're not allowed to say who it is, but he's going to be coming. And, Rando, I think we've got about 10 seconds here. I was just wanting to say I thank you for being on here with me, trying to keep me on track.
I have my announcement. My fucking announcement.
Oh, your announcement. Announce it.
Okay, it's not earth-shattering news. It's not going to change the face of WVCW. It's not some, hey, I'm hiding behind a keyboard. Look at me. Ha, ha, ha. Look at me. I'm Eric Foster. No. Ladies and gentlemen, at war, I finally returned to the stripes. I am back in the ring doing what I love to do.
Finally, Rando donned the stripes. Our favorite zebra comes back, folks. And I think we've went into overtime at this point. I'm sure that this part is not streaming right now, but it will be on the recording. Just want to do a few shout-outs here and thank yous. I want to thank all the nerdies. The nerdies were great Saturday night, pitching in and helping out with what we were doing, and I'd really like to thank all of them. I'd like to thank everybody that came in the chat room tonight. This is the biggest chat room we've had. Now, for a lot of people, 6 people in the chat room may not seem like much, but for us, that's a huge accomplishment considering we just started this. And we haven't really got a big push on it yet, but I want to thank everybody. And most importantly, I want to thank everybody out there listening, because y'all are the reason why we do this. Me and Rando don't just do this for our health. It's not like we're egomaniacs and we need to hear ourselves talk anymore. I mean, if I want to hear myself talk, I'll just pull the ball gag out of my mouth and talk to myself all night long. But I want to say good night to everybody. I'm hoping to feel better next week, get this headache gone. They gave me some medicine. And if it don't work, I'm going to go see my uncle. He cooks up medicine in the still out behind the house. I'm going to get some of that and see if I can't get something done for this. But that's all I've got, Rando. You got anything as a final thought here?
Other than the fact that I think this show's already done.
Oh, it's done, but it isn't. It's the beauty of the actual.
Oh, wait, I just heard hear the music.
No, because see what it does, what happens, is it records after our streaming is over. So we've actually got a little bit of overtime. We're just kind of talking here. We've been over a few minutes. Anybody who listens to it on the archive, which is how most people seem to be listening to it anyway, especially with us going on here at midnight. So, just anything you got to say.
Anything I got to say. No, really got nothing much to say.
Okay. Since Rando's done, and I think I've about reached the level of saying all I can say, I just want to tell y'all have a great night. We're going to do this again next week. Next week we'll be on at a regular time. Doctor's willing. We're going to be on at 6 o'clock right here on the same on the same bat channel. And then next week after the Nerdies, we'll be back on the other channel with our normal after party madness, which is a little more. It's not as subdued as we are here. We're a little more free with ourselves. But I want to thank everybody and just have a great time.
Booyah!